following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And here it is. It's a Wednesday at the Star in Frisco. And Everson Walls, when he signed on for Mick Shots today, was asking what day is it? It's a victory what? You know what this is, Everson? It just occurred to me. This
I know what you're going to say.
What? Okay, what am I going to say?
Winning Wednesday, right?
It's a winning Wednesday. You know what it also is? It's a Goodyear Cotton Bowl Wednesday.
Okay.
And that makes it even more of a winning Wednesday. And salute to you Texas Longhorns out there. The Longhorns win the Alamo Bowl last night. Yes, they finish off the season, and they found a quarterback in Casey Thompson in the second half of that game. And Mickey, how's Missouri going to do in its bowl game later this afternoon?
They are going to cancel.
Hey, Missouri is playing Grambling State. What are we going to play? Valentine's Day, right, Spags?
Yeah, right.
That's when we're going to have our bowl game.
You can't let kids go home for Christmas. You just can't do it.
No, you can't.
That's right. You know, it's funny because OU, Lincoln Riley said they decided to send their kids home for Christmas, and then they had their COVID report come out yesterday, and they had no COVID reports, nobody positive. I talked to a coach, an assistant coach at another Big 12 school, and texted him and said, hey, Riley sent his players home, and he said, well, let's see if they're able to play the game next Wednesday, but it looks like they're going to play. So
that's good.
I think everybody on the team's already had COVID, and so they were good.
Therefore, there's no risk. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, supposedly.
Yeah, Missouri had a serious outbreak, and then they got accused of making a phony cancellation because they didn't want to get beat bad again.
Who were they supposed to play?
Iowa. They could play with Iowa, right? Come on, jeez.
You can't beat Iowa.
I don't know,
no.
Spags. I've seen you guys play.
Yeah. Well, and right now we've got Wake Forest taking on Wisconsin in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Hey, Mickey, can you name a Cowboys player who went to Wake Forest? Not a current one. All time. A Cowboys player.
Come on,
the all-time
Spags.
roster who went to Wake Forest.
Oh, it's the running back. I can't think of his name, and I can see him. I talk to him all the time. Plays tennis against
Doug Dennison?
No, not Dennison.
There's a linebacker still playing in the league who went to Wake Forest who started his career with the Cowboys.
Yeah, and his name.
Wait,
his name just came up.
I answer this question. I'm curious too.
It's
what,
the
Everson?
it's the
I
running.
want him to answer the question. I'm extremely curious on who this guy is.
It's the running back, isn't it? Oh no, that was Winston-Salem,
Yeah.
not Wake Forest.
No, Winston-Salem.
Timmy
That's
Newsome.
Timmy Newsome. That's
Timmy
who
Newsome
I was
went
thinking
to
of.
Winston-Salem. Kyle Wilbur.
Yeah, you're talking about the
Kyle
HBCU
Wilbur,
versus
yes.
the Power 5.
He made a tackle.
Kyle Wilbur went to Wake Forest.
He made a tackle in the other last week or so when I was watching. Is he
Well,
with?
and what was his?
Is it the
the
Raiders?
greatest play that Kyle Wilbur? Yeah, he's with the Raiders. But what's the greatest play Kyle Wilbur made in his Cowboys career?
Oh, you got me there.
That Thursday night game in Minnesota when he recovered the fumble on the muff punt a few years ago. Anyway.
Oh yes, of course.
I'm glad you
Let's
remember
move
that.
on.
Of course.
Let's move on
No.
to current.
Hey, Spags, I think Bill is related to him. That's what it is.
Let's move on to current day Cowboys, because the Cowboys, it's not only Mickey Spagnola who is at work in the SWBC Mortgage Studios inside Ford Center at the Star in Frisco, but the Cowboys are back to work at Ford Center at the Star in Frisco, right, Mickey?
And aren't they glad they've got the Ford Center, because it's been pouring here all morning long. So They, again, had the ability to practice indoors on Wednesday. They were in shells, had the music blaring because this is going to be a away game with no fans, but maybe they were trying
Mickey,
to set the mood.
how do you know this? Mickey, how do you know this? Because I thought when they're indoors that no reporters could be inside Ford Center to witness practice. How are you able to be in there?
Only the two special reporters, myself and Rob Phillips.
This is Jerry's boy, Bill. This is Jerry's boy. Come on, man. Pre-pandemic, come on, man. They were sharing ice cream together and whatever they were talking about. I mean, come on, man. This is a company kept man right here we're talking about on Mick Shots.
Yeah, I wish. I wish all that was true. We were the pool reporters, and we had to brave the outdoor elements to get into the Ford Center to be able to give you a sanitized report on what happened in practice. And that sanitized report.
I must say, before you continue, Spags, if they're going to try and simulate noise, then why not simulate bad weather as well? Because they're going to be outdoors, correct?
No, they may be outdoors tomorrow. They may be outdoors tomorrow. They've been practicing indoors on Wednesday for the last month or so. So, and I don't know if that was to keep the other media away or what, or they just didn't want to let them into the facility after the NFL cracked down on the COVID-19 protocols. So anyway, I can tell you.
I got to ask you.
Go ahead.
Do you think Tom Landry would allow us to be indoors before this game?
You had no choice. You had no facility. Well,
Lowe's Fieldhouse, remember? Lowe's
that's right.
Fieldhouse.
That's right.
That was your indoor facility? You actually would go to Lowe's Fieldhouse?
It is just an alternative spot when the field is so wet and the grass was so soggy. We would go to Lowe's and practice on their turf. Still outdoors.
Outdoors.
Yes, but it was only because there was better footing on their turf as opposed to the natural grass that we had when Tom Landry was there.
Yeah, there's no sense messing up.
Lowe's Fieldhouse too.
There's no sense messing up practice just because the weather's bad. If you have an alternative, you got to get reps, right? So, having seen the team stretch, warm-up, drills, I can tell you that Leighton Vander Esch was not practicing. Donovan Wilson, who made it back for the game, was not practicing. Neither was Darien Thompson, who's in concussion protocol. And Ezekiel Elliott came out, probably did whatever he does before practice on his own, and then came out and got on the resistance cords. I would imagine he was going to be limited. And they did designate Zach Martin on reserve injured return, but he wasn't going to do anything more than rehab work, it looked like, maybe continue working on the resistance cords. So that's your guys who were and were not available for practice today.
Did you see
Xavier Woods?
Did you mention Woods?
I did not. And Xavier Woods was out there taking part in everything we saw that we were allowed to see, and it looked like he intended to practice. He had a helmet with him. So looked like he was going to do something. Mike McCarthy said he probably would be limited, but felt like he would move into practice a little bit more after they see what he was able to do with that rib injury.
Well, based on the limited information that Spags, are those situations apt to change? Does Leighton have a chance to play? Does Thompson have a chance to come out of concussion protocol? This is not the final say-so, right? I mean, does Zach Martin have a chance to play this weekend?
He does not. Jerry mentioned it on his radio segment yesterday that maybe for the future, but probably not this week. I think Leighton's done. I mean, he's not going to play. He's got a high ankle sprain. Those things are usually 3 to 4 weeks. Yeah. So I don't know if he would even make it if they ended up qualifying for the playoffs. I would say no on Darien
Well,
Thompson.
he'd make it for the NFC Championship game.
Yes, he would, Bill. Exactly.
He'll be back
Sorry.
for the championship game.
Yeah, I meant
Good job, Bill.
I
Good
meant
job.
the first playoff game, right? And Darien Thompson
right.
in concussion protocol, I think that one's going to be close if he makes it back or not. Usually you end up missing a week. So that's kind of the Cowboys' injury report at this point.
I'm listening to those safeties, and with Donovan Wilson, if he aggravated his groin, things are, if Woods isn't able to make it back and Thompson's not out of concussion protocol, they're starting to get thin at safety.
Yes, as they did in the game. Now, from what I saw Woods doing in the portion we get to watch, I would say 75% chance he plays. He looked like he was moving pretty well. But you're right on Thompson and Donovan Wilson. And even if those two are ready to go, they may have to get Jordan Lewis some snaps at safety, which he moved there. And Mike Nolan pointed out that he really didn't get any snaps in practice that week. And he basically, when they got to Saturday or whatever and they talked about it, he said that Jordan Lewis said, just put me out there and tell me what the calls are. I'm good to go. And he had the one play that I think he ended up getting called for interference on. But other than that, he got a few snaps back there. So we'll see where that goes.
The previous week made some. I thought he made a big leap in playmaking ability. Made some big plays in the previous game. I think he's been a big part of this third down resurgence by the Cowboys. Like I said, maybe not this past week, but the week prior to that. So he's, you know how it is. Sometimes things click for guys, just like with Anthony Brown. He and Jordan at one point seemed to really understand from that slot position just how important it is for you to make plays instead of just being just another stick man out there. They weren't looking. They weren't reacting. They were anticipating. And that's what I loved about what Anthony did. And I've been seeing that from Jordan Lewis as well. So Donovan Wilson, the growing, right? He's trying to come back from that in a week. I tried that once, played against the Giants the previous week. O.J. Anderson lifted me up on his elbow and brought me down on my one leg, and it shook something. I still have a knot down there. It's never going away. So I had never missed a game or a play, actually. And so here it is, my chance to – I didn't want to miss a game, so they were trying to get me to go against Minnesota the next week. It was no-go. I couldn't do anything. They wrapped me – first of all, I lost feeling in the leg because they wrapped it so tight. So that wasn't doing well anyway. I couldn't even feel it. I got out there and tried to play a couple of times. Anthony Carter ran by me so fast. I'm like, look, I'm not doing my team any good. So I have, out of my few injuries I've had, the groin was one of them. And, yeah, I'm not looking for Wilson to come back.
They didn't just put a little Ben Gay on it and say, get out there, big boy?
Yeah, back in the day, that was kind of the status quo, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Everson, I'd love to get your take on Trayvon Diggs. He makes that interception the other day. And I immediately thought of Everson. He just has that natural playmaking ability, the hands, the instincts, wide receiver type instincts, whatever. Yep. That's exactly what this secondary needs.
It did, and I like the fact that to me, all interceptions are good interceptions. You could say it was a blowout at the time or whatever. He needed that interception after coming back and kind of giving up some plays. It's been a tough year for him. I know about those tough years. I was blessed enough. I got beat as much as Diggs did this year. I got beat in 1981, my rookie year. I was just able to come back and counter that with interceptions. Now, he hadn't gotten nearly as many as I have. But when you get that one or two, or what does he have, 3 on the year?
He's got 3 on the season.
All against Philly.
That's not bad. Philly. That is not bad for a guy that came in. He's missed some games. And to have 3 interceptions, that is not bad for a rookie to come in highly touted. And let's be clear. If he gets another one in this game, we're going to be saying that this is a successful rookie campaign for Diggs.
And he'll have a couple more playoff games too, right? Those count.
Oh, of course,
right.
yeah, all the way to the NFC Championship game.
You got a couple in your rookie year in the playoffs, didn't you?
I did. I got a couple in San Francisco. I did. I have 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery, by the way. So let's not forget that while we think of that game in other ways.
Well, you get some Skittles for all that.
Thank you. Thank you. We could name an MVP award after Skittles. How about that? The Skittles MVP award.
How much do you think Trayvon Diggs and CeeDee Lamb, for that matter, 2 rookies, top draft picks, first and second round draft picks, how much do you think they have grown as players even since the start of the regular season?
I think it's so much, especially involving this season. These guys are going to come into 2021 more seeded. They're going to have more experience mentally. They have gone through so much more than any other rookies have gone through. This rookie class of 2020 over the entire NFL, and especially being with the Dallas Cowboys with the ups and downs that we've had. If you're looking at CeeDee Lamb, if I'm CeeDee Lamb, I'm looking at myself saying, you know what? I've made some mistakes this season, as a rookie should. But when you look at all the quarterbacks that I've had throwing me the ball, and you look at my final numbers, those are some great numbers. Just like I talked about with Diggs. He was injured for a lot of the season, came back, got the interception. Season's not over. He could get more. He'll have one of the better rookie campaigns, even at this point, than any DB we've had in recent history with the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, we're just getting started on this edition of Mick Shots. We got so much to get to, including news out of Washington. It's kind of interesting who might be starting at quarterback on Sunday night against the Philadelphia Eagles when Mick Shots continues in a moment.
Hey there, Cowboys fans. With Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery, cleaning your clothes has never been more convenient. Simply sign up at your local store, set out your dirty clothes, and one of our Tide Cleaners professionals will come directly to your home for a totally contactless experience. Your clean garments will be returned promptly the next scheduled delivery day, so skip the errand and enjoy life, not laundry. Visit TideCleaners.com or your local store to sign up for Tide Cleaners at-home pickup and delivery today.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Grab some OtterBox gear and get ready for hanging with the boys. From rugged venture coolers to tough as nails elevation tumblers, we've got what you need to keep your game day drinks frosty and your football feast ice cold. And with cases, screen protectors, and power accessories, you can defend your phone and stay connected to every play. Gear up at OtterBox.com and amp up the fun of every Cowboys game. That's OtterBox.com.
We're back with a tasty treat that's sweeping airwaves and taste buds. It's new Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda. Let's take a listen.
Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda's here. A new combo that's music to my ears, okay. Let's play. Cream Soda and Dr. Pepper time. Pour it in a glass of ice.
Music to my ears and mouth. New Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda.
A delicious duet.
Back to Mick Shots.
You can now support your beloved Cowboys from anywhere. Open up AT&T's Fan Zone feature inside the Cowboys app and record your personal cheer and referee signals. You'll receive a personalized mosaic and may show up on the AT&T Live FX video board during the game. We'll see if the Cowboys beat the Giants on Sunday, and if Washington does not win against Philadelphia, the Cowboys will be hosting a playoff game the following weekend. And there's, as I mentioned off the top of the show, there's major bowl games going on at AT&T Stadium this week. The Cotton Bowl has Oklahoma and Florida tonight, and then the granddaddy of them all on Friday afternoon at AT&T Stadium. It's the Rose Bowl game, top-ranked Alabama at number 4 Notre Dame in a national semifinal. You know, Mickey and Everson, they announced they're going to have a little less than 18,000 fans at the college games this week. How do you think it's gone, Mickey, this year with fans in the stands at Cowboys games where there's been as many as 30,000 there?
Yeah, you know, and the way, as big as that stadium is, 30,000 is kind of less than a third capacity. The people are spaced out so much. I mean, when you're sitting there, and we're pretty high in the press box, it doesn't look like there's 30,000 people in the stadium. Now, where you see kind of get a feel for it, if you get there, you know, normally I get there 2.5 hours before kickoff, but if you get there about an hour before kickoff, there's, you know, a lot of people walking around outside. But other than that, you know, it seems like it's gone seamlessly. Now, here's the thing, though, for tonight, for the college game. You know, the Cowboys, when they've played those day games, or even if it's been a night game, the doors are open and the roof's open. But when it's raining,
right.
I don't think you can get the airflow that Jerry was talking about unless they want to get rain coming in. I guess you could leave the doors open, but the roof would have to be closed, and that hasn't happened in a game yet.
That's right. That's interesting. And I don't think they ever would have envisioned, even when they built the stadium, that they would have the roof open for a game in which it was raining outside.
Yeah, let's open it up and just have just kind of like old times.
Yeah.
It's probably not good.
Better be wet than get COVID. Better to be wet than get COVID. I'm sorry.
But I don't think it's probably good for the video board to get rain on.
Hey guys, I have a problem here in regards to how things stack up this weekend. You know, we were all talking about what the Cowboys have to do, right, to stay in, and that's all fine and good. We feel like we're going to handle our business in New Jersey, but what do you think Philadelphia is going to do with the Redskins? Do they hate the Redskins more than they hate the Cowboys? Okay? Are they going to lay down and allow this team to go into to win the game and go into the playoffs? Is little Jim Schwartz, right? Is he going to be stubborn as always and refuse to lay down as maybe some Philadelphia fans might want him to? I think it's a very interesting notion someone brought up to me that Philly just might tank this game to spite us. What do you guys think?
Well, now Jim Schwartz, what he is telling the media is that we're going to call this. We need to make this a no-cap day. That Washington doesn't come into our place and put division champion caps on in our stadium. So that's the motivation that he's using for his players right now.
Do you believe him?
Oh, yeah. Him? Absolutely.
Jim hates to lose. You guys recall when he got mad at Jim Harbaugh for not shaking his hand properly when both of them were head coaches in the NFL, and he chased him down as Harbaugh was going into the locker room. And he confronted him about that over-enthusiastic handshake at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. So that's the Jim Schwartz I want to see on Sunday. I don't want to see a nice Jim Schwartz. I want the guy that refuses to let the Washington football team win.
Yeah,
I think that's the guy you'll get.
He wouldn't step aside to let his grandmother cross the street.
That's right. You know, I think the other factor on it, I think the other factor on it, Everson, is that I like the fact that Jalen Hurts is starting for Philadelphia and that there's still some question mark going forward on, okay, who's going to be their starting quarterback going forward. I think that they want Jalen Hurts' teammates really like him, and they would love to cement. It appears that Hurts might be the guy going forward, and they would love for him to have a fourth start that is strong to finish the season on to help cement his status going forward. So I like that aspect of it from an Eagles standpoint as far as their motivation to do well in this game.
Now, Bill, what did you see coming out of Washington?
And then that's the other thing on the Washington side is Taylor Heineke took the first team reps in practice today. Ron Rivera just had his press conference here within the last half hour or so. And they're not quite there yet on reading it. Now, Alex Smith says he felt good out there today. Not practicing was part of the plan, but they want to make sure that Alex Smith is ready. And so, someone's got to take the first team reps. If Alex Smith isn't, then Taylor Heineke's going to for them. So I don't think you read that much into it, but that's what's making the rounds on Twitter right now that, oh, Lord, Taylor Heineke is taking the first team reps in practice, but I think they just want to make sure that Alex Smith is ready to go. I fully expect Smith to be the starter on Sunday night.
I think regardless of who starts, Schwartz is going to bring the heat. He's bringing the house probably on every passing play that he thinks is going to be predictable.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which one.
Whether it's Alex Smith trying to stay on that one leg, or whether it's Heineken, right?
Heineken, yeah.
No, I know his name. I'm just messing with him. No, but as far as Heineke, young quarterback, still going to bring the heat. So they have nothing to lose in Philly. So I think it's going to be one of those. Defensively, I think it's going to be a fun game for Philly, potentially.
I don't know if you guys realize this, and I know this is only in regards to yards, but Washington's offense ranks 30th in the league. They're 26th against the run and 26th against the pass. 26th running the ball and 26th throwing the ball. Yeah. So, you know, they haven't lit it up offensively. They've lived off that defense and that defensive front so far to, jump that record to 6-9.
And if you're a quarterback like Alex Smith, you're going to manage the game accordingly. Let that defense win the game for you. At least don't blow it for the defense. So if Alex is out there, he complements that defense very well. I don't know about what Heineke is going to do, but Alex Smith has shown that he can complement this defense.
Well, Heineke had a better performance. He had a better performance in the one quarter he played than Haskins did last week.
Yeah, he did. Well, yeah, that's Haskins. I think if they have to, they're going to go with Alex Smith. And like I said, not just now. If they win the game, then that's what you're going to see in the playoffs as well.
Yeah, you saw that no one claimed him, and they probably weren't going to claim him on waivers anyway because he had some guarantees in his contract for next year. But, yeah, he didn't get claimed. So, I've always said when you get cut like that, if you get cut for, not playing well, somebody might give you a chance. But if you get cut for not being prepared, boy, you better watch out.
Yeah.
You remember?
Well, of all people, the Texans are looking at him, and you see what's happening with Deshaun Watson. So I think he's being punished by actually being touted by the Texans. They traded away the whole team.
Because Everson, you remember, and I can't remember if I think it was the '86 season, the last game. They started the quarterback from Southern Mississippi.
Reggie
Collier. And he was not prepared. Not only was he bad,
I've ever played with.
And I saw him play at Southern Mississippi, and he was good. But he wasn't prepared to play that game. It's one thing to be bad, but he wasn't prepared. And Tom finally yanked him out of the game, if you remember, and that was the end of his NFL career, if I remember correctly.
Well, if I recall, I thought Tom started him against the Chicago Bears, didn't he?
Yes, it was. I thought it was the final game of the season.
No, it wasn't the final game, but it was his final game. Tom, let's be real now. Tom Landry, greatest coach in history. But Tom, when you have guys like Tom Landry with the kind of power that they have, Tom Landry put Reggie Collier in to prove a point. Let's be real. You're never going to be prepared for the 1985-86 Chicago Bears. That is not going to happen. So putting Reggie Collier in the game, Tom Landry was letting us know, you can have a quarterback controversy all you want, but there's no quarterback controversy here, and I'm going to show you why. So he threw Reggie to the dogs, man. He threw him to the Lions, not Bears. He threw them to the Lions, and it was a tough sledding for that game, whichever one he played in.
So it was the 86 season, right?
86. All right, the last game of the 86 season was against the Bears, and I'm looking through it here. Collier was 4 out of 9 for 44 yards and 2 interceptions. Steve Pellure was 14 out of 28 for 175, a pick and a touchdown. It doesn't designate here unless I get it to the play-by-play.
What was the final score?
The final score was 24-10 in favor of the Chicago Bears.
Now, the year before, it was 44-0. And I think we must have gone through 3 quarterbacks in 1985.
And I think Collier probably started that game because Pellure.
No, Collier definitely started that game.
No, he started.
He
definitely started, yeah.
And threw 2 picks early.
He wasn't ready. He didn't know the plays. I just remember it. So I was wrong. Pittsburgh picked him up, and he played 2 more games the next year, and that was the end of his career.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about when I say one of the best athletes ever, basketball, football. He was 6 feet 6 inches tall, I believe, and the guy could run just as well as any quarterback in the league right now. I mean right now. Randall Cunningham couldn't hold a candle to his athleticism, and nor could these quarterbacks that we have out there now, even big Josh Allen.
A 6th-round draft pick of the Cowboys in 1983, Reggie Collier.
6'3".
Let's be clear. That's one of those. This is that era of, can the black quarterback be a good quarterback? That's among that era. So we were still, as black people, trying to prove that we could play this game as a quarterback the way we play it. And now, of course, we've evolved as a league in regards to that subject, but at that time, it was a taboo subject.
And as a society also, by the way.
No doubt.
I tell you.
All right,
wait, let me tell you a funny story.
Go ahead, Mickey. Go ahead,
funny story on Reggie Collier. Southern Mississippi was playing Missouri in a bowl game in Jacksonville. It was in Jacksonville. So would that have been the Tangerine Bowl
Gator
or whatever?
Bowl?
The Gator Bowl, yeah. And it was a real cold day, and Missouri put a beating on them, right? And so me and my college roommate, John, we're cheering in the stands, and some guy goes, well, your quarterback, did he get any votes for the Heisman? Mine got so-and-so votes for the Heisman. I said, I don't know about the Heisman, but my quarterback's got 24 points on the board, and yours got 0, okay?
Wait a second, Mickey.
What?
Missouri won a bowl game?
Oh, yes.
Missouri won a bowl game?
You want me to tell you how many bowl games they've been winning?
How many are they going to win this year?
They're not playing.
Okay.
Burn.
We continue.
Otherwise, they would have beat Iowa.
More mixed. We continue with more mixed shots in a moment.
We're back with a tasty treat that's sweeping airwaves and taste buds. It's new Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda. Let's take a listen.
Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda's here. A new combo that's music to my ears, okay. Let's play. Cream Soda and Dr. Pepper time. Pour it in a glass survive.
Ah, music to my ears and mouth. New Dr. Pepper and Cream Soda.
A delicious duet.
Dear, it's 1908. Don't you think we should get electricity?
And stop using candles to see at night.
It's just electricity lights up the room fast. It's more reliable than candles blowing out, and people seem to love it nationwide.
Well, candles are...
Dear, did you just run into the wall?
Nope. May I have a new candle, please?
Historically, switching to new technology is a no-brainer. Today, it's AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure, and nationwide. Switch to AT&T 5G. It's not complicated. 5G requires compatible plan. May not be in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
I'm Jay Novacek, former tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. Back in the day, I was the guy who always got the tough yards, and that's why I run with John Deere today. In fact, I have a John Deere 3025E tractor that can handle any yard work I need to do, even the tough yards way out back. So if you have 1 acre or 1,000, John Deere has the equipment that's just right for you. Visit a John Deere dealer today and run with us. We are the official tractor provider of your Dallas Cowboys.
There's nothing as unique as our eyes, which is why Essilor pioneers ways to make lenses as unique as you. Verilux for super sharp vision, Essential Blue for protection, and Crizal for freedom from glare. 3 cutting-edge solutions in a single unique lens. So whatever your needs, insist on Essilor. Visit your local Essilor experts and find the perfect lens for you. See more, do more, Essilor.
Back to Mick Shots.
Looking for something to change up your dinner routine? Help support local Frisco businesses by choosing one of over 30 restaurants at the Star District. For more information on delivery, takeout, curbside pickup, and dine-in options, visit thestardistrict.com.
All right, this is our final segment of this edition of Mix Shots. I want to throw something out at both of you, and maybe you can think about somebody that you would pick for this. I'll give you my guy. It is sort of an unsung guy on this team, an unsung star on this team. Doesn't have to be a star, but someone who's done well this year, you think has done well, that people aren't talking about. And a guy I'll throw out there.
Shut up, Marlon.
I did a little research on him last night as well, because I was not as familiar with his backstory, is C.J. Goodwin. You know, he's been a mainstay on special teams, throughout this season. And then, of course, as Mickey pointed out, and as you saw if you're watching closely the game the other day, he got, I think, 16 snaps on defense. They used him with Jalen Hurts at quarterback for the Eagles. And so, I think it's interesting, Mickey, in this COVID environment that we're in, we're not hearing a lot of the stories of players who aren't stars on the team because the media doesn't have access to them in the locker room like they normally do. You know, in a normal year, C.J. Goodwin, it's not like a player like C.J. Goodwin. He'd be at his locker in the locker room. Media, he can come in the locker room and the media is not going to be hounding him for an interview. But you would hear his story as the season progresses. But did you know C.J. Goodwin, he grew up, I believe, in West Virginia, and he didn't play football until his senior year in high school. He was a basketball player, went to Fairmont State University, may have gone to a different school first, but wound up at Fairmont State in West Virginia as a basketball player. And then he walked on the football team as a wide receiver. His position coach got a job at California University in Pennsylvania, and so he wound up, he wrapped up his career as a wide receiver at California University in Pennsylvania. We're talking Division II football. He, of course, did not get drafted, but the Cowboys are his 7th team in the NFL. He did not convert to cornerback until 2016 at the age of 26 with the Falcons. And he played a couple of years with the Falcons, and then he bounced around to a couple of teams before the Cowboys picked him up last year. And now here at the age of 30, he has found his niche. in the National Football League as a special teams guy for the Cowboys, and now he's even advanced to the point where they were using him in sub packages in the game against the Eagles. I just think that's a remarkable story of that people may not have heard about C.J. Goodwin.
Hey, Bill, you are so right. I didn't really notice it until you said it. You don't really get those human interest stories this year. We hardly haven't had any. Everything's been about the team. Everything's been from a virtual press conference standpoint. You know, no one can get close enough to where you can find out things. I remember when we were, of course, years prior, going all the way back to my years, people were always calling, wanting to do a special story on you and learn more about you. I had no idea that was his story, Bill. I think that's very amazing. And I love hearing stories like that. When I was coming out as a free agent, so many people, I'm still living at home with my mom for like the first 2 years of my career. So I was always getting calls and visits from people in Hamilton Park saying, my son hadn't played ball in 5 years after he got out of college. Can you help him get a free agent tryout? Everyone is, and I got kind of offended because it's like, well, hey, if Everson Walls can do it, well, I'm sure my son can do it, and that's how I was taking it, because I had so many people that would come up to me and say, hey, Everson, can you help my son get a tryout? Like, I guess, they have that's when the Cowboys had the all tryout thing going on, really just for PR purposes. They weren't signing anybody from those tryouts. But, that's the kind of thing that there was always hope out there for people that wanted to play. And that story you just told, that gives a lot of people hope. And I love those stories. People think I walked on with the Cowboys. No, it wasn't a walk-on position. They always try to say, because you're a free agent, that you walked on. No, I came through Grambling the proper way, and I was, passed up through the draft and signed as a free agent on draft day. That's different from walking on. But that's what people had in their heads, and they just assumed, well, if Everson Walls can do it, I guess anybody can do it. There's hope for my son or hope for me. And I hated to douse their hopes, but really stories like what you just told, that can inspire a lot of people.
Yeah, and not even just from a sports standpoint. I mean, think about it. How many people out there this year have lost their jobs, have that the way that they thought they were going to make a living, and they're going to have to take go a different route now. Well, C.J. Goodwin, all right, he thought he was going to be a basketball player, and then he had to take another route. He thought he was going to be a wide receiver. He's taking another, and he's 26 years old, 3 years into the league.
What are the odds at 26 years old?
Right.
Come on, man.
And people can apply that even to their own lives. I mean, those are the type stories that sports. You hear those type stories, and it inspires people in all walks of life. Go ahead, Mickey.
I was going to say, and I was trying to look up his stats, so I don't know if you pointed it out. He leads the team with 10 special teams tackles, so he did make a niche for himself. And that the sad part about it is, I bet the majority of the media could walk into that locker room and they couldn't pick out C.J. Goodwin. I mean, we haven't been around these guys. I was looking on the field today when we were watching practice, and it's like, oh, that assistant coach, who's he? I hadn't seen him. I hadn't met him. Yep. I hadn't talked to him. It's just
you guys think you didn't know the NBA draft players? Yeah. You wait till the NFL draft comes. You guys won't know anybody.
Same thing, right?
Gets drafted.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
I got one more thing. I got one more thing. Go ahead. I got one more thing before we go. 2 days ago.
No, you got to pick your guy.
No, I'm talking about 2 days ago was a special day. It was my birthday. Y'all missed it.
And we missed it. Oh.
I just knew Chris was going to say something because as a producer, that is his job. He's over there nodding his head. You should have said something, Chris. You should have told the boys. So you want me to tell them? Y'all supposed to surprise me. You're supposed to be like, hey, guys, Cowboy fans, it's a special day today. It's See, I'm doing my Bill Jones impersonation in case you guys didn't realize that. So, man, come on. That should have been the deal.
That's okay.
I had to tell you today. I'll forget tomorrow.
You guys.
So 61 on December 28th. Me and Denzel Washington, by the way.
You guys.
Oh, okay.
You guys missed.
Denzel's the same age.
Same day.
You guys missed mine 19 days ago, so that's no offense.
Come on, Spags, you gotta tell us, man.
Yeah.
Now, see, Spags is ashamed of getting older. I don't look old, so therefore I'm not ashamed of it. See,
I am very glad I'm getting older. Because as Tex Schramm said, it's better than the alternative.
Yes, it is.
So
I believe Tex on that one.
So, Everson, how did you celebrate your 14th birthday?
Yeah.
Mexican food.
Mexican food? And did you watch a football game that day?
I stayed home. Mexican food. I stayed home, spent it with the family.
You watched a football game that day?
Pardon me?
You watched a football game that day, your 14th birthday. That's right, December 28th, 1975.
Oh,
you know what?
Yes,
you know what happened that day?
That's me, man. I looked on Facebook. All I saw was Drew Pearson talking about that special day and why the origin of the Hail Mary pass.
That's right.
So I told you guys the story. My mom was making cake. She had no interest in whatever Drew and Roger was doing. All she wanted to do was make my birthday cake. And that was a good day.
Okay, quickly, I'm going to give you my guy that probably went under the radar. Connor Williams has started every game this season, and as a matter of fact, he's played 1,062 of 1,063 snaps this year at left guard, and has played well, by the way. Everybody kept wanting to move him to tackle, wanted somebody to take over his spot. I think in his third year, I think he's settled in and become a very good left guard. Maybe not a Pro Bowler, but a guy that you can win games with.
He definitely has all the experience on that offensive line at this point. He's the guy. Right. He's the guy that they have to look to for experience, which is crazy. I'm going to go ahead and pick mine right quick, and that's I don't know if he qualifies because he's a superstar to me. That's Amari Cooper. You know, to me, I just talked about, I talked about yesterday. This whole team is full of underdogs this year, the entire roster. And Cooper could have just tripped over his own lip from pouting from not having Dak Prescott as his quarterback. He hung in there, played strong all year long. Consistency is what you need in a year like this, and Amari Cooper has shown that hands down. The most consistent player on this team, 1,100 yards. I think he's set a personal record in receptions over 80+. So, yes, Amari Cooper will be my guy.
And Everson, how many times do we see players who sign big contracts who don't live up to that contract?
Don't live up to it.
It's a problem I'd love to have, but it can be a problem being able to live up to that big contract. But Amari has done that this year,
and he hadn't said a word. He has not said a word. He just goes out and plays ball.
86 catches, 1,073 yards, and 5 touchdowns, which ties for the team lead in touchdowns.
All right, that does it for Mick Shots for this Goodyear Cotton Bowl Wednesday. We got a show tomorrow. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to be here tomorrow for that show, Mickey and Everson.
Who we got, Spags?
Well, I've got to figure that out.
Okay, he's got 23 hours.
No one can replace you, Bill.
That's right.
So you know.
Yeah, right.
No one can replace you.
So
whoever we have on, and no matter how much love we give him, it's only because you're not here, okay?
Well, in the meantime, Happy New Year. I'll see you next year.
All right.
Happy New Year,
Sounds
Bill.
good, Bill.
All right. Okay. All right. We'll talk at
Cowboys.
you. They'll talk at you tomorrow at 1:30 on Mick Shots.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.